Hi, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
This is Patrick Stat Spore, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I am Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana, and you have joined into Spaceboy Universe. It is March the 9th in 2019, and tonight we're on show number 3.22. Tonight's topic is Topic Roulette, so we're going to spin the wheel and we'll put it out there and we'll have a good time, take some calls. It's all good in the neighborhood. As always, follow us on Twitter, that's at the SBU Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana, and follow me, your lovable Spaceboy, at Spaceboy Music. Make sure to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets before Jack Dempsey takes us off the air. In addition to Twitter, you can find us pretty much all over social media. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets, you'll want to check out our YouTube channel while it's still around. We do more than the archive of shows there. There is video content from SB Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, so much more. So hit that subscribe button and click that bell to be notified when new content is available. Can't catch a show live? No problemo. Take the SBU on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, and Spotify, because, man, we like the broadcast. And on that magical note, let me bring in my lovely co-host, the Rock of Gibraltar, as it is, Surlana.
Yeah, but how do you really feel?
Oh, about the universe?
Well, anything you just said.
Well, you know, a lot of stuff going on out there, Surlana.
Tupac Roulette, that's just bad.
Did I say Tupac?
No, you didn't. Somebody else just did.
I thought I did a pretty clean intro this time.
Somebody thinks they're funny.
Oh, okay.
Like you.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little stumped right now because I feel like the things I was going to talk about is more for after the first break.
Well, tonight when it's Topic Roulette, it's pretty much it doesn't matter.
It can spill over.
Yeah, it spills over, and
let me go to that whole Twitter thing first, then.
Are we talking about Jack Dempsey and Joe Rogan? Or are we talking about...
You can do that because I'm not sure, but I guess this is a way to back into that, right? Okay. So what I read was, inside Twitter's ambitious plan to change the way we tweet. Twitter wants to limit the snark and get healthy. So this is just one more social media thinks that they have to be our mommy and daddy because we can't play nice.
Translation, they want to restrict free speech.
That's how I limit. I mean, yeah, trolls exist, and yes, you can legitimately be harassed and bullied, but as you pointed out, there are mechanisms in place to help you if you're genuinely being targeted.
Bullied.
But if somebody just says something quick and pithy and sarcastic, I don't think we've got to bring down the entire structure of a social media platform. But they're saying, wisecrack, sarcasm, snappy one-liners. That's kind of how it's known for. And,
Well, heck, on any given Saturday night, you got some piffy one-liners to come back at me.
Yeah, and it's called Twitter dunks, which I didn't know. So
Twitter dunks, like Dunkin' Donuts?
like slam dunks. So a year ago, Twitter's CEO Jack Dorsey said there were plans for an idealistic solution to minimize these dunks and minimizing all kinds of angry, vile, and abusive behaviors that don't necessarily violate the rules. Excuse me.
Okay.
He wants to innovate a new metric that measures Twitter's health, then optimize for it.
So what they want to do is regulate it when somebody gets butthurt about something, and
this is the world we live in.
Those people shouldn't be on the internet.
Shouldn't be anywhere.
I mean, that's the whole point that gets my goat going. You know what I'm saying,
Well,
Surlana?
so if Twitter can identify which user interactions are healthy, quote unquote, thinking goes, maybe it can change the product to encourage more of those behaviors and discourage more antisocial conduct. This is getting spooky.
Mm-hmm.
This is starting to sound like Big Brother. This is starting to sound like censorship.
Mm-hmm.
This is like everything goes back to Star Trek with us. Wasn't there an episode of Star Trek Voyager where they're stuck in the Delta Quadrant and they come across all kind of different species and races, and they get on this one planet where if you have a stray thought that's even slightly violent, they put you in jail, and then you have to go through this mental rehabilitation where they like F with your brain. I feel like that's where we're going.
Well, in the last season of the Orville, Seth Trek, as I like to call it, they had an episode where people wore these badges, and if your social conduct wasn't,
saw you watch that,
and it was actually a pretty good episode. And
but you know what that is? What you're talking about? You see your social ranking on your clothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of reminds me of what China's doing.
It's exactly
right?
what China's doing. Yes,
and that's a direct commentary on the evil and stupidity. So I don't understand. I don't know if they're trying to compensate for, I'm going to be honest with you, stupid people who get their little feelings hurt so quickly, or they're taking advantage of that, saying, oh, we're trying to protect you by silencing most everyone who doesn't say things the way we want.
Here's my problem with that is that apparently they're eliminating free speech of a particular group of people, and usually that group of people is conservatives, that they're quieting or kicking off their thing or suspending them, and it's not right. I kind of brought up the Jack Dorsey. Why I say Dempsey? I'm sure. You're gonna look it up.
No, it's Jack Dorsey. I've got it right in front
I know.
of me.
I was wondering.
I was saying hi to Catalina in Spreaker chat.
I'm trying to figure out who Jack Dempsey is. I think he's a baseball player. I'm not sure. But anyway, with one of our cadets.
If you know who Jack Dempsey is, please type it in one of the two chats we have.
Getting back to the Dorsey interview with Joe Rogan, he looked pitiful in that interview. And, his head was kind of held low, and he was there with his lawyer through that interview, and the guy, I can't think of his name, but he usually is on the left of thinking, but in this interview I thought he was really fair and concise with his questions about Twitter and their policies and how they interact with their users.
Again, as you always point out, they're a private company. They can make their own rules and do whatever they want, but
right.
I see through all that, I think.
And to be honest with you, as we've been moving forward, and even with YouTube lately, with certain monetizations of some of our videos, it's becoming more. I'm getting more frustrated over the simple fact that, we did a show on
which I could say it's like a documentary about the idea and concept of conspiracy theories. We weren't sitting here trying to promote theories or make our own or promote fake news. We're trying, what is this concept? Let's deconstruct it. Let's talk about it. Where did it come from? What is history? Why does it have this bad rep? And they're saying, well, some advertisers won't like this. I'm like, so?
Mm-hmm.
What is their problem with explaining things on an educational level?
Right. And so and the videos that got us nicked was the conspiracy theories, the Korean War, and the thing on Joseph McCartney.
Yeah.
Which that one alone just cracks me up because here that was talking about the suppression of speech, and when you have somebody that has too much power going after people that are innocent just because they're expressing their thoughts on a particular subject. And that's what's very frustrating now with some of these companies like Twitter, Facebook, the suppression of discourse.
Well, to keep on this same vein, same article says if you dunk, whatever the Twitter dunk is, if you dunk on somebody, you get a lot of engagement, of course, because everybody jumps on it, they like it, they retweet it. It's kind of encouraging you to be mean, basically, says David Gasca, the Twitter product executive in charge of the company's health efforts. We can imagine ways of changing the product in order to discourage that. So don't go to Twitter to have fun. You go there to have meaningful, productive interactions, and we all hug each other and love each other, and we never say anything negative.
One-sided fun and entertainment and,
At the same time, he said, you can imagine changing the product such that you provide positive incentives for encouraging more constructive conversation. When's the last time you had a constructive conversation with any other human?
Surely not on the internet. Because
no, and if I am going to have one, I would like to be rewarded. I would like some ice cream or $50,000.
And really, I get worried when I'm having conversations with people on Facebook, for example, that longtime friends, I feel like I have to dance around on eggshells just because if I say something in the slightest, then they're going to treat me like I'm some pariah. And
well, yeah, because you and I know to pick our battles. Like, it's not worth destroying relationships over for me to voice my opinion on social media. I would rather sit down and look them in the eye and say, what went wrong with you?
I mean, because my frustration is this, Surlana, is that, I've strived to be, if anybody knows me the best, it's you, in the sense that when I approach people, I try to be civil and have an open-minded conversation with them.
Well, I'm never around when you're having this, so I don't really know.
I appreciate that for validating what I was saying.
Well, you're a good person. I know that. Let's put it that way. I know you would.
Thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging that I'm a good person.
You're better than I am, but I have no wish to be a good person.
Anyway, so, here, you know how active I've been on STEM? Promoting young women.
Oh, yeah. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Right.
That's STEM.
I have always been, I'm not going to call myself a feminist, but I am very supportive of women to choose their right to do whatever the heck they want to do and grow. And if women want to go into combat, so be it. Let them go into combat. If they want to do whatever they want to do, great, Hopefully I installed some of these feelings into my niece, who's grown into be a remarkable young woman, and smart as a whip. She's doing IT work now, and I couldn't be more happier than seeing the development that, how she grew into what she is now. But yeah, at the end of the day, there are things that I've been very supportive, and now I feel like I'm in a position where people are saying crap, and I'm not that way.
No.
And, and I feel like
stereotyping your...
Exactly. And
your gender and your
race. It's kind of like I use a phrase that you hate so much is shut your pie hole.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Unless I don't like the person talking, so...
But at the end of the day, it's just like, I've just grown weary of the whole thing. So,
yeah, I'm going to keep going on this tack, if you don't mind. So, They were going to work on this project, Twitter, to figure out how to stop the negativity and promote the positivity. And then the research teams announced last July, I'm guessing that maybe this is 2018, two of the teams abandoned the project altogether. Internal metrics Twitter's building on its own are still experimentation, and they're not being tested yet. While that means Twitter might not think that dunking is particularly healthy user behavior, it's not going away anytime soon, and why should it? And they're saying, well, Twitter is sick, right? The idea to measure its health was planted by into Jack Dorsey's ear by Deb Roy, an MIT researcher and one-time Twitter employee. So, she was, I guess this is she, I'm not sure, Twitter's chief media scientist in a part-time role. And she stayed in touch with Dorsey and routinely told him, and Twitter executives, the lab's research on topics like viral rumors, what the effects were, and I guess that's what started this conversation about changing how Twitter should function. So we were asked a simple question: could we measure the health of conversation on Twitter? This is what Dorsey tweeted: if you want to improve something, you have to be able to measure it. So, again, I don't know, I think that's kind of subjective. So, there's a great diversity in what people consider healthy, yes. Since the platform did not, at their onset, define norms, it is much more difficult to retrofit norms long after the networks have grown and taken root. So they didn't have something built in, ready, in place to measure this. And here we are with this, I guess, this multi-headed hydra that they can't get a hold of, you know. So they're trying to invent a new metric to measure the health. So
Hydra.
So how they can, once they measure what's a healthy conversation and how to promote that, this kind of reminds me of something, and I'm not saying it's on this level, but there is software and applications out there that will work with social media channels, and as users start using and promoting certain things that you say that you like and you want them to promote, they get rewarded with however you. Oh, we'll give you T-shirts. We'll give you that. You set up your reward system, and as the more they tweet, retweet, share, Instagram, they start building up their points. So that's kind of like the Pavlov's dog reward system. Share this tweet, get a little cookie.
The problem is that the head of the Hydra has a certain
agenda,
mindset, or a belief system, if you will. And now I'm going to kind of backtrack here for a second. Jack Dempsey is going to I must be from another time, because... You know what?
You keep talking. I'm going to actually Google Jack Dempsey.
I just did. Oh. Jack Dempsey is an American professional boxer from 1914 to 1927. He reigned as the world heavyweight champion from 1919 to 1926.
That made my headphones fall off my head.
What, because I
you just been thinking about him a lot, huh?
I don't know. It could be. I know who he is now. Based on.
Sure.
Even though I brain farted like I always usually do when it comes to names, sometimes, I still was aware of him historically. Jack Dempsey, this boxer back then. But the fact is that he's from the turn of the, what would you say, the 19th or 20th century? Yeah, 20th century.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, we learned something.
Yeah, there you go. Jack Dempsey is the boxer. He's not the CEO of Twitter. That's Jack Dorsey. Yes.
At least we've got that sorted out. So that's time well spent.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad I could put a little history here in the universe today.
Well, right now, Twitter is testing two metrics. The first is used to measure the health of single tweets, which is called a toxicity metric, based on machine learning algorithms created by guess who? Google, the other dark lord, search engine giant. A second metric doesn't have a name yet, although it was called healthy.
Now, would it surprise you if I told you that maybe we're getting to a point where these companies need to be regulated?
Is that just not compounding the problem, though?
What, regulating the companies? They're monopolies.
Are they?
Yeah, they're
Really?
monopolies of
that just triggered
of
something.
knowledge. What?
Something about trying to break up giant tech right now because of that same issue, like Apple.
Well, I do know that what's her name?
I know you're talking about. That's how it came about.
Yeah, she.
I can't think of her. Yeah.
I can only think of the negative name that they call her because.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Let me. I'll Google that real quick. Hey, Gene. Breaking up big tech. If we're going to break up big tech, we shouldn't forget telecom. Here's how we can. Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, Warren. Yes. Or.
Even when I tell you the right name, you still pronounce it wrong.
I think that the sweat of the heat in here.
Yes, it is the heat, and we desperately need some ice cream. I think that would solve 90% of our issues right now.
No, I need some ice cubes.
Well, we've only got 9 minutes till you can get some.
Well, I'm just need. I know we're going to get cool Monday.
There is a weird thing. It is 81 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity, I don't know what it is, but it must be outrageous because it is muggy, wet, gross, warm. Awful.
I'm sure by the third hour I'll be slurring, and it'll be fun for you.
Actually, it says it's 72, but feels like 81. I don't know where they get those crazy numbers from. Our AC does not work, or rather, it doesn't cool. The fan works, but it doesn't cool. Someone's coming Monday to look at it, but
possible
in the
compressor,
meantime,
it might be out on it.
I hope that's an easy fix, and we don't have to pay for it.
It's under warranty.
Yay!
But
my gosh,
because of what we did today online, and based on the conversation I had,
we registered the product. Yeah.
Based on the conversation I had with the guy that installed it.
Well, so there might be some hope for us coming up soon, but today and tomorrow are going to be tough.
As long as we get it taken care of soon.
But as you just pointed out, we're at the high, and as we go into next week, the temperature is going to start dropping in the 70s, and it's going to go down to the upper 60s, and it's going to go down to the lower 60s, and then spring will come finally.
Well, did you hear about the Puxatony Phil being busted for fraud?
Again, I love your own interpretations for when you say a name and it's completely wrong.
Then what's his name?
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney?
They're arresting him for fraud because...
It should be Punxsutawney Phil.
Well, whatever he does never applies to the South because here we are. It's spring, it's winter, it's spring, it's winter, it's spring. It's not, it will not be. So we've had rain, and when it stops raining, then we just get showers of pollen. So we're either sick from the rain and cold, or now we're sick from pollen and allergies. Well,
I'd rather it be cold.
Yes, exactly.
Because at least it offsets the AC. Which is funny because this last week, I had the space heater in here.
I know.
Faced at the fan, so it would get the air in here warm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like schizophrenic weather.
We have a window unit in here, but it's
too loud. We couldn't do the broadcast. You would just hear
AC
window.
Yeah, so it'd be terrible.
Although you could loop that, what you just did for 10 hours, I'd probably fall asleep to it. So they're going to go ahead and try these two metrics, right? And again, I just think it's all part of them trying to either quell the people who are upset or saying that's what they're going to do, and it's actually about censorship. And so that's how I look at it, because I don't take anything at face value. I always try to think, okay, do they have hidden motives? What could they be? I guess you could call me that. If you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, I'm fine with it. That means I'll walk around demonetized, but, whatever. Yeah, ice cream sandwiches sound really good right now. And I am so getting a giant icy tomorrow.
Good for you.
And you're buying it.
So, our Cinemark has liquor as well.
Yeah, but what time are we going?
Going at 11:45. We're going to be there.
I don't imagine they're going to let us have liquor at 11:45 on a Sunday because this is Texas and we're still got the blue light law for liquor.
I think they need to do away with that.
I thought they were going to do away with that, but...
I mean, Christians drink beer at any time,
Yeah.
So it's not like, I just think they need to do away. I mean, I do remember when I was younger that you couldn't buy crap from certain things.
Hey, I'm old enough to remember when everything was closed on Sunday. Kmart, the bank, grocery store.
Were you
Nothing was
old
open.
enough to know about Jack Dempsey and his world-wrecking boxing career?
Well, we should have talked about it last month.
All right. So, Surlana, we're pretty much to the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and take our first break of the evening. And just to remind our Space Cadets, we're kind of freestyling tonight, just like that Coke machine that I like so much. And which means that the phone lines are open, and you can join the fun at any time if it's relevant to...
They're not open. I didn't know you wanted me to do it right now, so...
What is the point of me asking?
Let's take the break, and I'll get them open, all right?
Okay.
I'll get them open.
Fair enough. So, on that magical note...
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
This is author Gordon Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Welcome back, and we're armed with popsicles.
Yes. That's why we're kind of like talking and then pause and then talking. So, Spaceboy.
Yeah, Surlana?
What are we doing tomorrow?
We're going to the movies tomorrow.
What are we going to see?
We're going to see Captain Marvel.
Ah. May I ask, what are your feelings about it?
Well, I've got a mixed bag of feelings when it comes to this movie coming out.
My emotions.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding Brie Larson and stemming from her comments and pissing off the fandom of Marvel. It seems like Disney is just really doesn't have a grip on its people over there. Now, I'm kind of holding back for the movie to actually give it a chance to check it out. Now, I have already heard some reviews about it, but of course, I'm saving a lot of this for my thing that I do now called Space Vlogs. And that should probably do it tomorrow and then up to YouTube, so by Monday.
Space Vlogs is a feature brought to you by Spaceboy, starring exclusively Spaceboy, and yes, that's completely fine with me. I know where he is and what he's doing, and he's not on the streets, so I'm cool with that.
I'm just in my quarters in space.
Mm-hmm.
So, incidentally, if you're a watcher of the Friends of Spaceboy Universe, the cadets of... I'm screwing this up. What is it? Cadets who like
Space Cadets who like Spaceboy Universe?
Yes, I posted a kind of a preview of what to expect, where I did a thing about Blade, the vampire hunter. That was kind of a first thing, kind of one-off thing that I did, and posted that to Facebook. But these blogs should be going up to YouTube, but will probably be shared back to that spot too as well.
So, just to point out, the phone lines are open now. Skype in the studio was giving me some little, stuff, but
well, according to Dave Cruz, he uses Zoom, and it can be used just like Skype, where it has a waiting room and
you just send out the link and people can click it, or there's a number. But that number, if you want to chat with us tonight, is always toll free, and that is 833-202-7286. That is 833-202-SBUN. So we're here.
And if you call in, I'd be curious to know whether or not you're going to go see Captain Marvel, or what your thoughts are on Captain Marvel, if you have any thoughts on that. And
let's... You told me this, and you told me about Rotten Tomatoes, you told me blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I never know what in the world did the girl say. So, if you want to know what's happened...
And the girl is Brie Larson.
Grandpa, stop. Her name is Brie Larson, Larson. In her Crystal Award for Excellence in Film acceptance speech, she said, of the highest 100 grossing movies in 2017, less than a quarter of critics were white women, less than 10% were underrepresented men, and only 2.5% of women were of color. So she said she wants a more inclusive representation in the industry, mostly in the critics area. Mm-hmm. She said, quote, "Am I saying I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. I don't want to hear what a white man has to say about A Wrinkle in Time. I want to hear what a woman of color, a biracial woman, has to say about the film. I want to hear what teenagers think about the film. If you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is a chance that a woman of color does not have access to review and critique your film. Do not say that the talent is not there, because it is. So please make sure that these invites and credentials find their way to more underrepresented journalists and critics, many of whom are freelancers. First of all, Bree, where are you getting your data, or where is your assistant getting your data? Because any person in the world can go find statistics to fit their argument. What survey did they get from what people saying, hey, I'm in an underrepresented category and I tried to review a film and I was rejected, and rejected in favor of a white man? Where is that data? So I read you those quotes, and these quotes came from Variety.com, who just happened to have a nice compilation. So what interested me is, on the internet, on most sites, you have a comment section below an article. And they're very astute people. One man says, I'm a white male, age 48. Her comments don't offend me. I understand what she's trying to communicate, but you have to understand, Bree, you chose a line of work that's designed to entertain people. I do not watch movies with the intent of discovering what some actress or actor's work, in particular film, means to me. I am either entertained or not entertained. If you're going to put your political gender speeches, please include more facts to support the message you're trying to send. So, and then another person put, so she doesn't want to hear about white men who are gay, or she doesn't want to hear about, she says, this guy says, it feels like she's saying, I'm not saying I do hate white straight men, but here's a list of people I don't hate. And another commenter says, so a white teenage boy of 17 is okay, but a white man of 18 is not? So there's people out there who are poking holes in what she said. And again, I wouldn't go out there if I was famous and doing this stuff, because you're almost always wrong. You've got your facts wrong or something.
I look at it as shooting yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to say something that's going to alienate people, and
so that's where it all started, right?
Mm-hmm, yes. Well,
but you and I,
that, and also some of the shots that they had seen for the trailer,
right?
She just does not come across somebody who's like Captain Marvel, you know?
Right. Well, I wouldn't know, because I'm not involved in the backstory comic book source. But you had said, you'd have told me about this, but I didn't know what she actually said. So this goes on. She said that. She made that statement, and people reacted however they reacted, but it became a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had told me, I forget how many days or weeks ago, about what happened with Rotten Tomatoes, and I'll let you take over that because you're better knowledgeable about that.
Well, basically on Rotten Tomatoes, the it was they've always had some situation where you could go on Rotten Tomatoes and say, are you going to go to see this movie, or are you not going to go see this movie? Well, there was this big drive or push or whatever you wanted to say.
So it's like a poll.
Poll, yeah. And a lot of the people were saying, no, I'm not going to go see this movie.
Because of what she said?
Because of what she said, because of when they look at her, they don't see... with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth, when you see them, they look like superheroes. They're into it. Brie Larson, and the shots that we got to see for Captain Marvel.
You're saying she kind of looks dead in the eyes,
or
dead
something? In the eyes, doesn't like she wants to be there, and a lot of people, and I guess when I say a lot of people, the actors and actresses involved with Endgame, or the Avengers in general, are not happy with her. She's rubbed a lot.
Really?
of
Now that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. She's rubbed them the wrong way. But anyway, getting back to the Rotten Tomatoes thing. So basically, Rotten Tomatoes did a redesign of their site just out of the blue, and took down the rating system for.
Interesting.
For the Captain Marvel thing. Well, eventually, I think at some point they put it back up because the movie came out, and so I guess
now you get to review it legitimately.
And the rating was down in the 30s, and at some point,
before it even came out. Right?
The ratings. Well, it came out Thursday, so the rating system had over 50,000 people on there that had put their 2 cents into it, and then all of a sudden at like 1 o'clock in the morning, they Rotten Tomatoes took 50,000 users away or off the site.
Excuse me.
I guess that were making 1-star comments about Captain Marvel. And
is this because they suspected they were false because they hadn't actually seen the movie, or just because they weren't making it look good?
Because they were not making it look good, and there is a belief that because Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the I guess the president over Fandango is a former Disney employee.
Oh, it's all making sense now.
So it's led to believe that Disney got involved and said, do this or else. Because, these reviewers, some of these reviewers get perks for reviewing movies. Like get a chance to talk to the actors or go see the movie first before everybody else does so they can get out the word. So it could be kind of lucrative for the critic.
It just feels like censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they were real reviews or not, some random citizen of the world came on their site, gave a review whether they believed in themselves or not. It wasn't what they wanted to hear, so they got rid of it.
So, basically the projections for this movie, monetary-wise, did I say it right, Surlana?
When it comes to making money,
yes, thank you.
Let's just say that.
They were projecting between $20 million to, I think, $80 million. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but anyway, so far the movie has made over 120,000. Over 120. Yeah, it's made over 120.
Definitely over 20,000.
Over 120 million. But now let's keep this in mind. Tron Legacy,
yes,
made 400 million, and they consider that a flop.
That's sad.
And part of this is that we don't know the monies that have gone out to promote the movie or the actual cost involved in making the movie. So you're going to see that offset when that money comes. Sure, they could say, yeah, we made 160 million or blah blah blah, but the reality is when you have the offset of, well, it costs X amount of dollars to make this movie, and so the movie only made X amount of money. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's just basic cost. I'm like, if it costs us $10 to make this short, and we charge for it, and only 2 people came on to make $2, that's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's $400 billion or $4, it's just basic math.
So at the end of the day, what we have is Rotten Tomatoes has ruined its reputation. How can anyone trust the site to be accurate because of what they've done?
Right.
And
same with Twitter.
And it's kind of the same vein. But thankfully, you have people like Odin's movie blog, which is on YouTube, and Geeks and Gamers. Eric Van. Okay.
You are bad with names. Baby.
I am. I'm just hot. It's just throwing me off.
Yeah, I understand.
That Star Wars girl is another person.
It's uncomfortably warm in here.
Yeah, I don't have any pants on, but I mean, I have.
Well, thanks for telling us that. Even I didn't know you didn't have any pants on. Jeez.
I'm trying to stay breezy here. Anyway, that's the provocative part of our show.
Well, I guess you do need those people until they get, speaking of YouTube, YouTube fought Brie Larson trolls by changing its search algorithm because they do that all the time.
Yes.
So if you search Brie Larson on YouTube a couple of days ago, let's see what's the date on this, March 8th, the top search results were calling for a boycott of Captain Marvel angry rants about her involvement in the MCU. With one small change, YouTube made all of that disappear. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
They recategorized her name as a newsworthy search term. Why is that a big deal? That does one very important job. It makes the search algorithm surface videos from authoritative sources on a subject.
Yeah,
instead of videos from individual creators, YouTube responds with videos from Entertainment Tonight, ABC, CBS, and CNN because, you know, mainstream media is pretty credible. So they got mass criticism over how YouTube search favored conspiracy videos over actual news after the mass shooting at the Las Vegas Music Festival, if you recall that.
Mm-hmm. And we've had that discussion about, you know, if you're going to cover something up, don't leave any questions. That when there's questions, that leads to conspiracy theories.
Yep. Again, that goes back to an episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, where they didn't want, this race of aliens said, we don't want you to know we exist. It's like, well, and we tried to erase your memories of our encounter. Said, yeah, but you left clues, and we're curious people, and we won't rest till we find answers. So go back and don't be so sloppy about your brain erasing. You know, because they were going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's Star Trek to me. So trolls starting using sites like Twitter and YouTube. So this is why YouTube and Twitter, this is a reaction. They're trying to do their part to keep people happy, maybe. But I just see through it. But anyway, you know, in the Rotten Tomatoes, you said, you know, the new anti-review bombing measure. This site I'm looking at, The Verge, is doing its part of the ongoing campaign to ensure that when people use YouTube as a way of looking for a news topic, the company relies on authoritative sources first and foremost. But I'm telling you right now, YouTube, if you use sites like BuzzFeed, I don't believe a thing you say.
Right.
So not that they say they do, but if I ever find that, I'm going to start telling everybody. So creators who are on YouTube see it as a problem if YouTube favors videos from approved news outlets instead of individuals, because they don't want to hear your upset speech. So I'm amazed that Star Wars upset channels still exist. So on Twitter, critics and creators call it censorship from YouTube. See, I'm not the only one that sees this. Others commended YouTube for making some kind of action. Now YouTube has millions of creators on the platform who are fighting to get their videos seen. If traditional news outlets are shown favoritism, it's a cultural shift that will see immense backlash from a large portion of the creator community. The only thing I know that we have is if we all take our toys and go and we just leave it en masse, have it just be this news site, and there is a huge vacuum waiting to be filled.
Right.
For everything YouTube cannot give us.
You know, and I'm surprised that there is not somebody out there stepping up to become the alternative to YouTube.
Well, the closest they got was a web browser where you go in there and you pick the people you like that you want to support monetarily with a points reward system. So it bypasses the need for advertisement, to rely on advertisement. And I can't remember what the name of that was or if it still exists.
Well, I know that I have definitely seen the increase of Patreon for a lot of these.
Patreon's had some controversies too. They've had it up, then they had a really embarrassing down, and I guess they're coming back up.
Mm-hmm. Where a lot of these creators are not able to get the money that's necessary, like the old days of collecting money, unless, you know, it seems like the only way you're going to be able to make it monetarily feasible is if you're a PewDiePie or a Jacksepticeye or any one of these guys. Markiplier, yeah.
He's a good guy.
That have millions of watchers. Otherwise,
we watch all those guys.
Otherwise, you know, sure, you know, we have a nice little following, but it you know, I think the last time I checked, we made a few pennies.
Yeah, we're not in it for the money because it'll never. it'll never be like it was for these gamers who are struggling to make new content to keep and get new subscribers. It's a struggle that I'm interested in watching, and I know that we don't have the wherewithal to be in that battle because we do have full-time, daytime jobs, and that's how we have income. So I don't think Spaceboy Universe will ever be our job that pays. So it'll just be like, we'll do this till we just get tired. But as you pointed out, when the movie actually came out in the theater, so it says it actually got certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but I think this is the critics' review, not just us regular folk.
Yes.
At an 83% rating, and that's like a low B if you're doing A, B, C, D, F, you know. They go on to talk about what Rotten Tomatoes is and how they've always done their score, and they give it, there's a critic score and there's a score from people like us, you know. So when it came out, you know, they're actually saying it's a pretty good movie. It's a good Marvel movie, they're saying.
You know, can I be blunt here? If Brie did not say all that crap she did,
it'd be even bigger.
I think it would have been even bigger because, you know, for example, Samuel L. Jackson. Not everybody agrees with Samuel L. Jackson with his politics and all that, but the man knows how to promote a movie and go into a movie and be the best actor in that movie. And, you know, people still go see his movies. You know what I'm saying? So if she had not brought the skunk to the interviews, then there would be no issue with... I'm sure this movie, everybody be up and running. And a lot of the YouTube people that I watch would be promoting to go see Captain Marvel instead of...
Right.
You know, being a Debbie Downer.
I'm looking at another website that looked at... I don't know where they're getting... Despite the best efforts of a bad faith and sexist smear campaign, what are they talking about? Captain Marvel is earning positive critical reviews, and it's projected to make $125 million its opening weekend. Well, the movie has nothing to do with what she said. So the movie can be good. This is something she said way after the fact, you know. So, film's been targeted by trolls. So this, if you read enough different sites, you'll start to see this site's got this view, this site has this view. It's not news where it says this happened, and they don't put language in there that says, you know, oh, this was sexist. I'm like, real news tells you what happened and does not try to make up your mind for you, right? And I think that's what Twitter, Facebook, YouTube is trying to do for us because, one, maybe people are too stupid. Two, maybe people are too upset and don't know how to handle their emotions. And three, maybe they're also using it as censorship. But Larson's physique was called into question, a debate of whether or not she was strong enough to play a hero. I don't see an issue there, other than it said she looked dead in the eyes. You know, but it could be that what she went through to become the superhero didn't have a positive effect on her. I just, you know, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. So, you know, the negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and that whole thing went down. She complained, these people who trolled apparently, so the primary complaint about Larson for being sexist against men, expressing anger that seemed to stem from Larson being vocal about the lack of diversity in Hollywood among film critics. That's what she was saying. The backlash against Captain Marvel wasn't a random occurrence. How does this site know that? Where's their data? Show me your sources. Who did you talk to? Where are you getting this? You see, anybody can make a statement and make it look professional. So where are they getting that? The backlash. The backlash is people don't like being told, like, I don't want to hear from a white man. Okay, fine. Keep that to yourself. You know, a brief, it's essential knee-jerk response to the point Rotten Tomatoes announced that it would tweak its user review feature But I think, as you said, they got pressure from Disney.
And let's go back to Disney for a second.
Sure.
And bring up something that you know will roll your eyes. Star Wars. You know, apparently Disney has really not listened to the fans, and they have an agenda with KK or Cray Cray, and it's really debilitated a once beloved franchise, and now people, you know, there's still a lot of people, they haven't put out a damn name for the movie yet. There's been no previews for the upcoming movie, which is just around the corner in December. I mean, all we can think here is that maybe they're going to show something at the convention in Chicago, celebrating Star Wars, that maybe we'll get something new or updated or something will come out then. And I think maybe Disney has learned a little bit from the fact that of what has happened with Solo and The Last Jedi. But how I'm applying this back to Marvel is that, you know, this even goes back to, you know, they were firm when it came to James Gunn and his tweets and coming forward. I'm surprised that Disney wasn't more proactive with Brie Larson. Butchering her last name.
Well, because she might be one because she's a woman, and what she said wasn't
kosher.
Because what she said wasn't on the level of pedophilia. She was just saying, hey, I would like to see better representation. Although the white man thing was a little sketchy, maybe Disney didn't see it as something they needed to smack down. And if they did, Disney might have looked bad, like maybe they're trying to shut her up.
I think this goes back to what we talked pre-show, is that, you know, what happened to the thing about don't judge a man by the color of his skin, judge him by the content of his character. And then this also led into us talking about picking the best person for the job.
Yeah, I was like, they're all upset about not having these people in these movies or in this industry or in this profession. So they come after white men or whoever it is they're coming after. I'm like, well, that's not what people like who are social activists stood for, like Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't go after the white man, did he? He's criticizing them like, oh, they're the problem, and they really were. But so attacking people because other people aren't whatever is not ever going to be the solution. I don't see how that's just going to keep things stirred up. And as long as things are stirred up and somebody's yelling the loudest and they get the attention, that seems like that's all that matters, because this is the post-truth world we live in.
You know what it reminds me of, Surlana, is, you know, you've seen the, you know, whether it be a video or actually seen it where a kid drops down to the ground and crying because they're not getting their way.
What, are we talking a kid, or are we talking like a 15-year-old or something? I mean,
well, in some cases, it's these 20-year-olds that are protesting.
I want to see these videos.
The thing is that, you know, these people have no common sense and unwilling to bend or to maybe understand a different point of view because they've been brainwashed
that could be.
into believing a certain way.
That could be, and we're about to miss a break.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm missing it, Bob. All right, so we'll take our break, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe.
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back. And I'd like to have a serious conversation with the Space Cadets right now. We've been on the air for a long time now. And we've done what we could to bring you an interesting show, to say the least. Would you agree, Surlana?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to think about it.
Yeah, and
I think so, for sure.
And I like to be honest with the Space Cadets because honesty is the best policy. I guess most recently we've really been thinking about coming to a conclusion of Spaceboy Universe and moving on to other things. And we just wanted to let you know that when that time comes, might be sooner than later, we will definitely let you know. But I have loved every single one of y'all for being such loyal Space Cadets to the program, and but as we draw our program to a close, we will let you know when that specific date might be. So, on that magical note, Surlana?
That's it. Just scare the crap out of them and pull back.
What else is there to say? I mean, I'm not depressed. I'm not taking any antipsychotic. What is it?
Antipsychotic?
Yes, thank you. We
take the money that we used to run the show, and I'm gonna get you some elocution lessons.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's more of a financial thing.
Yeah, I mean, we to be honest,
just went through a oh crap 9-day period of we didn't know what's going to happen, and the money it takes to run the show could have maybe not sustained us, but it would have been a big chunk that would have been a help.
And we're not asking. Well, sometimes we ask for donations, but
it's still not going to be what we need.
Yeah, and I have sugar-coated this in my mind because this has been something I've enjoyed doing, and as you know, I've been very committed. Every Saturday night we do a show, and not a lot of people can say that they've been that consistent. So,
yeah, it'd be nice to keep going, but the problem is it'd be nice if this could be our jobs that we could devote more time to the subject matter, to prepping for guests.
It is a lot of work to do this show.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear Surlana mostly, but from the tech end to manage the tech end,
he's literally running the show, starting it, running it, getting it queued up and ready,
making sure I have the right equipment, making sure we have the right software, various things, and
but you would probably carry on with the YouTube part of it.
Yeah, I'd still do the space vlog thing, and
I will go underground and go into hiding. Hey, we have a caller.
Okay, put him through.
Are you there, caller? Did it pick up?
I don't hear anybody.
Don't hear anybody.
Caller? Hello? Did you disconnect them?
Mm-mm. Did you hear that? So you can hear sounds.
Yeah, I hear a click.
Are you there? I heard a pop.
Like somebody was putting their dentures in?
Caller, if you're there and you can hear us on the show.
Sound is at the right level. I mean,
you're picked up, but if you're talking, we don't hear you. So, do you want to try it again?
Yeah.
They dropped the call. So.
Okay.
Okay, let's try. They're trying again. Are you there?
I hear something.
I hear something. I hear air. Oh, is it one of those phone calls?
Can you blow on my face because I'm hot?
Yeah. Oh. Do you think that was one of the alphabet soup agencies?
No telling.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on this. Were you saying something?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying something, whether or not it's coherent.
Okay, sorry, Catalina. We heard like air, like somebody was there. They tried to talk, but do you want me to make an outgoing call to you? Because I can do that. I can call you back. Just tell me in the chat, or do you want to? You may attempt to call you. Let me know. Maybe something up with our configuration.
Maybe something with Skype updating.
Ugh. She says it makes a loud noise and it goes silent. Yeah, I had to fight with Skype a little bit to get connect. Well, not Skype. It was more the call-in studio. Because she was saying, that is not a valid PIN number. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's the same PIN number.
She said she'll try again. And Dino is in the house.
Apparently, I made a comment that depressed you so bad you made that comment.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well,
or have you been thinking about it honestly?
I have thought about it. You know, I'm at the point where I really need to be realistic. I've thrown a lot of money at SBU and not really, for the most part, really pushed the thing of...
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yay, say.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Testing 1, 2.
Hello?
Testing. You got
Hello?
something mute over there?
No.
Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you. I'm typing in chat. We can hear you. I don't know what's going on. So she's terminated again. It was Catalina. Well, it was nice to hear your voice. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So continue with what
you're saying. But anyway, like I said, I've thrown money at this left and right. Made our studio into a cool place to broadcast out of. We painted the walls. We brought in computer equipment and
suggestions. How about making a monthly show instead of a weekly one? Well, we could do that, but it'd be on YouTube, so it wouldn't cost us anything.
We would have to get rid of Spreaker.
We'd have to get rid of Spreaker and pull everything off of Spreaker. Yeah, we could do that because I think you and I would still enjoy talking and have it being recorded and whatnot. So, but like I said, you would still do YouTube. You would still do your space blogs. I would disappear into obscurity.
Which is something
as is fitting for me.
I think the last thing you need to say when you leave is, okay, I got to go finish laundry, just so K28 understands the reference.
Mm-hmm. That's just for K28, so, yeah.
And as many of y'all have probably seen is that with Spaceboy Music, I've written 2 albums, or I'm on the second one now, one called The End of the Beginning and The Beginning of the End. Should kind of give you a key to that end as far as the music part.
You always said you thought Spaceboy Music would come to an end, but I don't think that will happen because, not to be cheesy, but you do have the music in you. Mm-hmm. So you're something is always going to inspire you or spark you in that way.
Fairly recently, just to put that out there, Dave Cruz has asked me to do some music for him. He's revamping his music for Beyond the Strange, and of course, if you follow the Facebook thing out there, you've probably gotten a chance to listen to what I did for him, and hopefully he goes with that music, and my DNA is out there, and it's not like if you don't tune in to Fade to Black on a somewhat daily basis out there, you're going to hear my music out there as the intro.
She's trying to call again. You want to try to pick her up?
Mm-hmm.
She refreshed her phone.
Okay, let's try it again.
Are you there, caller? Cat? Are you there?
Cat, are you there?
Are you there?
Hello?
I can hear something.
I guess she's waiting for...
She's taunting us. Can hear you moving or something.
Maybe she thinks she's still in the holding.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. So if you're muted on the phone, maybe you can unmute because I can't hear you guys at all.
She's not muted. She's not muted at all.
And the volume controls are perfect.
Nothing has changed on.
I
on
can
this
hear the
computer.
recording of the phone, but can't hear you guys.
Well, we can hear you. Let me put it down.
I'm gonna go back to chat.
Is the call-in studio muted in some way?
No, I'm looking right at it. Yeah, I mean, if you call back and we can hear you, and I type in chat, we can hear you. Just talk. We won't talk over you.
And I want to say we're not bitter over the fact, though. If this comes to an end, I think we've done a good thing. We've gotten an opportunity
to talk. We've done.
Yeah, got to interview many people. We ran another show, the Quantum Hologram Matrix. We helped him get that off and running, and we've done program for various people.
We're still being broadcast on the PAUK radio network. That we were invited to do that. That's been a nice little feather in our cap.
Mm-hmm. We've done live terrestrial radio.
Mm-hmm.
We were broadcasting
that cost
out of.
us too.
We were broadcasting out of Arizona.
Yeah, we got to be guests on Solaris Blue Raven show, Dave's show. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, but yeah, met some great people, got some great friends, met some other great people, lost them for whatever reason. A lot of people come and go out of your life when you try to do this type of thing, which I've never understood, but that's life.
I got to be a part of Truth Funders with Mark Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
And
got to make Patrick Sporer's acquaintance and be friends with him,
which we connected off.
That's been invaluable, along with, of course, with Solaris Blue Raven.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a lot of things to miss if we decide to finish this. She might call back and just talk.
Okay.
It's only weird if you make it weird, Kat. Just speak what's on your mind.
And like I've said, these humble beginnings all started in Contact in the Desert many years ago.
Well, I didn't know it was brewing.
I mean, you didn't know the storm was brewing.
No, if I didn't know it, I'd have stopped it. Yeah. And to think, there might be people out there who won't miss us and might even be happy that we're going to be doing this. Finally, they're shutting up.
Yeah, they're not broadcasting on Saturday, so...
It's all mine now.
Well, ha, 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 ha.
Well, go for it. Oh, she's calling. Somebody's calling. I don't think it's Kat, though, unless she's got another... Nope. Are you there, caller? Oh, I hear something. Should I disconnect from Skype and then try to reconnect?
I'm wondering if you're going to need to do that, because... Is this Dino? Can you hear us? Are they still connected?
Kat's trying to call back, too. I can hear something in the background.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, it's Bev.
Can you hear us, Bev?
It's me.
Bev, are you hearing us?
I think she hears us on a delay.
Okay, let me pull my best Art Bell. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down.
No. She can't hear us either. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop all these calls. Sorry, Bev. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to troubleshoot this, and I'm going to back out.
And we're going to restart this.
I'm going to firm in show. And sorry you'll actually hear all this.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
See, he was giving me
Please enter
grief
your
earlier.
show number and press pound.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
This is the problem. It didn't like the PIN number.
Welcome, host. You have not started a show session in Call-In Studio and cannot yet receive calls on SpoonNet. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Yeah, I'm trying to troubleshoot it, Bev. Okay. We're back.
Go ahead and try to call in.
If you want to call, try to call in again. Oh, here we go. I think Bev's calling immediately. Are you there? Can you hear us? No.
Bev? Hello?
No, she's on a delay. That's how she can. I can hear it in the background.
I can hear the spoon thing. Did you oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
I did.
I don't know what's the deal because everything's plugged in normal.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just going to...
And, it's making the proper sound.
Max calls, auto screen off, listeners in queue, delete drop calls after, save and continue. Don't know. I don't know what's happening. I've reconnected on Skype. I've stopped it in Call-In Studio and restarted. So, I don't know what's going on, kids.
Yeah, it looks that way, Miss Michelle.
Do we want to... Oh, answering this call will place your active call. Somebody's trying to call us on Skype.
Well, put it through. Let's see.
It may not work, though.
Can you hear us, caller? Hello?
No. Because I think that's call 4.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear us? No.
We can hear them. This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird. This is really weird. Well,
and nothing's changed on the
nothing's
board.
changed.
I mean,
Bev's trying to call again on Call Studio. I can't hear her now at all. It's getting from bad to worse. Oh my goodness.
Jane was saying something about change our clock. But see, we shouldn't be able to hear that.
No.
Of course, the constant here is not that sound, but for them to hear us.
I'm going to do something crazy here.
Okay.
I'm going to do something crazy. I'm calling out.
Okay. Who are you calling?
I don't know. That's the fun. Okay. Okay.
What is it?
I'm trying to troubleshoot this still, so I'm gonna hang it all up. I'm gonna disconnect from Skype. Oh my gosh!
What?
There's yet another update. Holy smokes!
Hey, why don't we take a break right now? And,
what is going on with Skype?
You can fiddle through whatever you're doing over there. All right? Sound
okay,
good?
That sounds great.
We'll be right back after this, ladies and gentlemen.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt and Bot vs. Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
I guess it would help if we actually put the microphone on instead of off. We were so pre-focused with getting the
call-in studio
studio up. Yeah, the call. Go ahead and give those numbers, those digits out.
Okay.
Again. That's probably why nobody was bothering to call in, even though we were.
Well, if they don't, I'll try it. If you want to give us another shot, I have rebooted this machine that has the studio and Skype on it. It is, 833-202-7286, 833-202 SBUN, always toll free. And if no one calls, I'll try calling, and maybe we can troubleshoot it from there. And then if it doesn't work, we'll just give up for the night.
Just quickly, Gene, just to let you know, we're going to go see it tomorrow, but it's more like in a capacity that, I'm going to review it and bring back my findings back to you guys.
Yeah, okay, someone's trying to call.
Okay, patch them through.
Hello?
Hello?
Caller, can you hear us?
Oh, no, not again.
So what?
Hello?
Can you hear us? It sounds like Donna.
It does, doesn't it?
Hold on just a second. Let's see here.
You see anything over there on your side?
I can't hear anything.
Donna, can you hear anything? Testing 1 2. Test. Check 1 2. Test 1 2.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'm
calling because
Can you hear us?
I'm sad that you're leaving, but I just want you to know that I do love you, and wherever you're going to be, I'll track you down and find you, and I'll listen to you guys.
That's so sweet of
So it's not forever. I know that you'll be back around. So take care, and I know you guys will be on YouTube too, and I'll be watching. So take care of yourself. Love you. Love everybody that listens too. So take care of yourself.
Thanks, Donna. We love you too. I wish you could hear us.
Yeah, I just do not understand. It's not anything to do with that up there. I know you were messing with it last week, but
Nope.
I think this is Bev trying to call. Second caller, I guess you can't hear us either.
I'm wondering.
No, they can't hear us either. Okay, what about this call? Is this Michelle again?
I'm on the line. Can you hear me at all?
Is that Miss Michelle?
It's just silent.
Well, I wasn't saying anything. We can hear callers. Oh, well. I will... I'm really tempted to try to call one of you back. Michelle, are you the 406 number? It's not me, not you. Okay. I thought she was trying to call earlier, but oh well. Spaceboy is actively over there moving things around, trying to see if there's something that's,
Not right.
not right. Okay. Next caller, we hear something.
Check 1 2 test.
Yeah. 567 number.
Test.
We're not hearing you unless you're not saying anything. Okay, this whole thing is maddening. We haven't had a problem with Calling Studio in long time. Yeah, that's what he's doing, Dino. He's pulling cords and pushing wires and.
What about now?
You try to pick one up?
Go ahead, so that we could see.
Caller, is this working yet?
Okay, this is the 5th time I've called.
Can you hear us?
This is Catalina. I'm just going to talk,
okay,
and then I'll hang up. So, hello, Surlana and Spaceboy and Space Cadet. I wanted to suggest if you could do your show. I think I heard you say doing it on YouTube, but I think you can do it on Spreaker without paying. There's some people that just do like chit chat. Don't really have a show, but they just do a rant.
It's a very reduced.
So I'm not guessing that they pay for that. So maybe you can just do the Spreaker in your YouTube. If that doesn't have a feed, then we can still chat.
Check.
And the other issue I wanted to bring up was I'm trying to figure out the conundrum of this time change. Because if it's 11:59 p.m. and you're going to go forward, then it hits midnight. Does that mean that, say, your phone, because it has the correct time, does that mean when it hits midnight it just goes exactly to 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Because it's not going to be 12 o'clock if it has to go forward. And then if that's the case, and if it goes backwards in time, like when you have to go fall back, if it's 11:59, does your phone just say 11 o'clock once it goes to 11:59 and the next minute goes off? So that's my conundrum, and maybe you could help me figure that out. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay, love you. Let's see you on the chat. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Catalina. And next caller, we've got the next caller up. If you just want to start talking,
say what you want to say.
We'll just wait, see if you say something. Again, Spaceboy's banging things around to see if one of our settings has gone off. Caller, you can talk. I think this is Bev. Because I can hear us in the background.
Oh. Check 1 2, check 1 2. I don't know what the deal is. It's the mix minus is all correct.
This is the ultimate free speech because we can't censor you. We can hear you. You can't hear us, so we can't interfere with anything you say. Okay, so we lost that call. So this is just
check 1 2 test.
I do not know what's going on.
Test 1 2, check 1 2 test. Yeah, I am at a loss.
All I can tell you is that this computer, when I rebooted, was slower than I've ever seen it. It says that Windows updates are available. I'm wondering if I should do them later on or not, because it's not auto updating.
No, later on.
I know I can do them later on, but oh, Dino. Yeah. It's kind of like a confessional, is it? You just call in, say what you want, and hang up. That way we can't, comment on anything you're saying.
So what's the number? 1-8.
Oh, it is 1-833-202-7286.
Do you see me?
Yes, I see you, Mr. 832. Are you there? Are you there?
Oh.
I can hear you.
Did you already pick up?
Uh-huh.
Well, I hear me.
I hear me.
Well,
can you get up and go to another room?
Duh.
I can see you. This is not a valid test, honey.
The thing is, I
don't hear you coming through this.
Okay, so that's the problem.
So
somehow our mics are not
coming through.
Yes.
Yes.
It says there's a Java update available, which I don't want to do. There's an anonymous caller, which I think I know who that is.
Yep, I know who that is.
Mr. Anonymous himself.
I heard a beep. Does that mean I'm on?
You're on.
Right? Yes.
Yes, Dino. Feel free to talk.
Okay, because it's on a delay. I heard the beep. I heard the message. And what I can tell you is that I'm kind of disappointed that I got on here an hour late. I'm not hearing the entire reason you have here for dropping, but you've done a lot of interesting shows. If there's another way, if money is the problem, there might be a way around it. Tonight, it's just Mercury retrograde, went in yesterday, so we got 3 weeks of that. I'll have to talk to you off air and see how your new job is. I see you got the haircut and the beard, trim. And I think good things are going to happen. I mean, when I was middle-aged, a lot of things went down. You just got to keep your head high and go for what you really need. Sometimes you can't get what you want. Sorry to say that. I love hearing all the space cadets and listening to them. It's on-air family, so to speak, but even off-air, I've had some good contact. And I don't know what the situation is. I think we could get some more interesting guests, and I'm always willing to help. I'm still trying to buttonhole Sammy Hagar here in town, get him to talk about his interesting encounters as a teen of the paranormal type. Many good things are, going on, but there are many bad things going on now in our country, and it's good to have a little respite here on Saturday night when I'm not doing something. I just don't understand why you can't continue in some capacity as long as you have the energy. Where there's a will, there's a way is true. If you enjoy doing it, find a way and cut expenses, as they said. See if you can cut out the middleman. maybe do like Heather Wade did and have your own server. I don't know. We will follow you wherever you go, and I will drop the call now to see if anybody else can get in, because we may not hear you for a while. Thank you, and I love your friendship.
This is like SBU Confessions. It's kind of cool in a way. While Dino was talking, I did hear him, but Spaceboy was over on my side and was trying to do some troubleshooting, looking at the physical hardware. And
I don't think I'm going to be able to fix it.
Yeah,
with
it's just
being on the air.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I'm just going to shut it all down over here. I'm going to end the call-in studio and just preserve the $17 we have left. Yeah, do Skype. Do you want me to disconnect Skype and then have them? Well, no, it's call forwarding, isn't it? It wouldn't work.
You could just disable the forwarding. See if that'll actually work.
Tell you what, we'll disable call forwarding. Let's see. How do I get this? Is that a Microsoft login? Do I log into Microsoft?
Do you log into Microsoft?
Because that's their product. But I have to log in as you. Who are you?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I had to do this for a second here.
Skype?
Okay, we're back.
Define Skype. Microsoft's website. Oh my gosh. Could it be more convoluted? Okay, so Skype. Anything else you were going to say? Oh, God. Lord, have mercy.
What?
I don't know how you get to the actual account. You could talk to the cadets here.
Well, cadets, I'm looking at a mixer board right now and trying to see where the error is that we're not getting any kind of feedback.
Yeah, like nothing's changed. We haven't messed with any settings. Okay, here's the call forwarding. I'm going to turn it off. Edit. To turn it off, I just take it out, don't I? Or no, guess not. Oh, here we go. Actual check mark. Look at that. All right, now I'm going to have it to where you can call the Skype number, but you know it's Skype. So, what is the Skype number? So you've got Skype or not. I don't think you have to have Skype to call a Skype number. If you feel like it, you can call 713-701-5214. I feel like I'm louder all of a sudden. If you're feeling adventurous. And I'm going to shut that down. I'll pull Skype over here. Yeah, the time change that's always baffled me because you're going to get deep about it. Is time real or is it a perception of human beings? Things do change and develop over a period that we can measure. This is what blows my mind. And what?
Did you disconnect the call studio?
Yeah. I'm just like Skype, and I've taken off call forwarding to the studio.
And that's 713.
713. You would ask me that. 713-701-5214. This is an unknown. Oh, I love it when we have unknowns.
Oh, this is Dino again. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear us, Dino?
Can you hear us out in TV land?
Yes, we can.
Everybody else? Okay, well, I don't know what's going on, but...
Oh, this means it's a sound card-like issue, or...
No, it's...
Can I talk dirty on this line?
It's not as clean.
You don't have a dump button, huh? Okay. Anyway, no, it's Mercury retrograde, and that went in yesterday, and that always seems to, about 3 times a year, screw things up for about 3 weeks at a time. So that's what's going on, I guess.
They can hear him.
So what were we talking about? The new job. Can we talk? I was going to call you off the air, but is that working out this first week okay?
It's working out perfect. Oh, well, it's working good, Dina.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Again.
Oh, you can't hear. You can't.
No.
Well, I would caution you because they know about this show.
Ah, now I can't hear you. I heard you at first, Surlana, and now I can't hear you.
Oh, what'd you do?
Are you still hearing me? Because you were fine, and then...
Talk.
Wait,
Talk? What about now? Can you hear?
Now I can hear you, yes. Now.
What the heck was that all about?
Did you turn some pot up or down or something?
That's definitely the mixer board you're messing with, right?
Ah, so now we've isolated that.
But nothing's changed from last week. Ooh. It's going in and out. No, it's the headphones, okay.
Okay, you still hear me?
You still hear me, Dino?
Yeah, I hear you.
He just can't hear me.
No, I can hear you as well.
I was just saying,
maybe,
what kind
of... Maybe what's different from last week is you have your pants on.
He doesn't have his pants on. That's what it's thrown everything off. It's the heat because it's scrambling our brains.
All right, there we go.
You do sound like you're far away, Dino.
Okay, I hear both of you just fine.
Well, he's all the way in Sanford. Well, I guess
he's all the way somewhere else. But I mean, like he sounds like he's far away from his device or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm hearing you very fine.
But you are clear.
I'm clear. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I do. It's not as good a connection as usual.
No.
I have my good phone, and I had a horrible power fluctuation about a week ago. You know, we've been having a lot of rain and wind and every other day, and we're above average by now. But very funny. It was like the middle of the day, and my lights were going off and on. My phone was going beep, beep, beep. The lights were going off and on. Luckily, I had a surge protector on the stereo, but even my oven, the thing was blinking 3 colors. It was like a spaceship was hovering over my house, you know, and I even looked outside and couldn't figure. And then I heard, after I called the power company, and after I said, this is doing no good to my things here, so it could have fried. It did fry a light in my garage door opener. I noticed that won't turn off. It did screw up one of my wireless speaker extensions, so I'm filing with the company. I asked for a form. The same thing happened about 4 years ago. Anyway, electronics are very sensitive when you have rough weather. I don't like to hear that my phone's not as good, but I do. This is an old, very good quality set, and I have another one sitting in a box for 2 years that I got on sale thinking this one would die prematurely, so maybe I will change that. Anyhow, back to the issue at hand. So you were saying the expense was part of the reason you may have to back out of this weekly broadcast?
Yeah, it's always been the forefront of our operating cost. That money could be better spent elsewhere.
It's a lot of things. It's not just the app.
Yeah.
It's you got to take in the ISP connection. You got to take in domain hosting for the websites. The thing that we're using to post to social media with Hootsuite to aggregate it all, and
so you pay separately for each of these.
Yeah, it's Skype and then call-in studio.
Yeah, Spreaker is a significant cost.
Yeah.
Or like Surlana was saying, we pay a premium for our ISP. To make sure we have the best top quality connection. So.
But I mean, there may be a way if you still want to do this, and if you still have some interesting guest you'd like to have on, you could go to the next step down and see how it works. I mean, if it's going to cost you less, I mean, we're not we are listening to your music, but we can get that elsewhere during the breaks. As long as voice comes through, and then, like I said, you could try what others have tried. You go, which I was told by his protege that Art Bell always wanted it that way, that it would be great, and now we have the technology. Maybe just buy your own server and run everything off of there. Then you could broadcast anytime you want, and you would own the server. I don't know. I'm not as technical as you, but doesn't the new job pay a little better than the old one?
I also feel like there's just not enough time to put a show together during the week.
I understand.
So I don't know if we've hit a certain standard of quality, and now I can't live up to it anymore.
Well, maybe. If there's a will, there's a way, is what I was saying previously. But I can't tell you. You've got to go. I mean, I don't know if your new job space, is harder for you, or does it pay a little better at least? Longer hours?
I'm making about the same, and hours are roughly within 40 hours a week. And
less stress?
No, not really. I think I have strived to create a show that was technologically on par with other people out there, if you know what I mean, and try to create a show that is out there that people will enjoy. And I don't know, I guess I'm a perfectionist to some extent. I know it doesn't seem like it at times when Surlana's yelling at me for being stupid over here, but
I don't yell at you for being stupid. I laugh at you for mispronouncing everything like a frustrated old grandpa.
So, but it's not like I have I've thrown money at this, and I don't know. I feel like like she was saying, reached a certain plateau, and I will say that I will definitely miss a lot of the interactions that we've had over the years with this broadcast, and a lot of it will be missed. But then there's some people like yourself that can still reach out to me. You know where to find me, and I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't totally disappear. There would still be some kind of space boy thing out there.
Yeah, you still have your vlogs and your YouTube. I might disappear.
And that's a dream come true for her.
Who knows where I'll go?
But I know that the audience itself would miss our dynamics of our back and forth.
But they would adjust over time.
Well, I understand better now. But when you get to middle age, there are certain decisions that have to be made. But you don't have to give up on a dream, because I know it has been for you. And let's see where it goes. Is this definitely the last show?
No, this isn't the last show. We were just talking about the future of SBU. I mean, admittedly, it's been on my mind for several months. And I think about Surlana a lot in this situation. I mean, she, just like Jean said in the chat, she rocks. She does. She is an excellent...
And I'm not even supposed to be here.
She's an excellent researcher, and she's...
I know, you've said it many times. You'd rather be in a room reading a science fiction book, and maybe that's the place for you.
Some people probably agree with that.
I know.
I thought you had said.
And I feel like she's the more interesting party in this situation, and...
No. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The only reason I might be even marginally interesting is because I'm married to him, and he's interesting. That's the only thing that's making me look passably normal in other social situations at work. Like, yes, I'm married to a guy, so everything's normal.
Well, the thing is, we want you to be happy. You're both off on weekends now, and so there should be time. There should be together time, and there should be alone time, and that's healthy depending on what suits
difference of opinion about together time.
Yeah, I mean, I have too much alone time because I haven't been in a relationship for a while. And when I got into it, I got bitten by a snake, and so I figured, hey, if you're not happy, I won't hang around. But that's good for your professional life. That you can just see how it goes. As the energy builds, and you always got to look for a bargain. I'm sorry, I grew up around, no offense to anybody, but around a lot of Jewish people and a lot of Chinese people. And what I did pick up many things from them, because when you lived in a city like I lived in with so much culture, but I did learn to be more careful about how I spend things and how I buy things, because you can buy anything you want in America if you've got the money and you don't want to take the time. But if you want to get bargains, you got to shop around, right? Mama told me. So, okay, that's good to hear that we will hear some more of you. But look at the good karma, Space. What was it? You were only less than 2 weeks, and you've got another job. That's a wonderful thing.
That was awesome.
I used to go like 5 months when I'd lose jobs.
I was very determined, to say the least. And even at that, I took up a job with a company called Shipped, where it's a company that picks up groceries and delivers.
Yeah.
And so I took that on, and just so I could make sure that if something happened, I had income coming in. I didn't want to go the route of going to unemployment kind of situation. I have experienced that, and Surlana can tell you it drove me crazy when I got laid off from, that job.
I felt bad about the last time it happened because it was 3 months, and it's like I was watching you were struggling, and I know you were killing it, and I was like, something inside me woke up. I don't know what my problem was, and then I got a hold of your resume, and I shook it out, and I, fixed it up, and then I got him a freebie website, and I made him a bio page and a tagline, and I filmed him with an About Me video that I scripted, shot, and edited, and he started putting that link on his resumes, the resume that I reformatted, and I think within 2 weeks you were getting hits, like legit callbacks. So I feel like...
that's great. That's great. And you guys know the computer. I mean, all the time in years past when I was between jobs, you had to do it the old-fashioned way. There was no job on a computer. Heck, I even got a job once, which blew my mind. I was watching the local news, and at the end this was over 10 years ago, I guess the job market was tight, and they were saying, oh, every night we'll tell you who's hiring. And they came on and said something about a computer, Apple. I said, oh, I have an Apple computer, and I actually called the next day, and they actually interviewed me and actually gave me a job that I would have never looked for, So to have the internet, I don't know, it can probably be worse. I would probably wrote bad resumes. I took classes on them, but yeah, if you can make a good electronic resume, you really helped Surlana, and it paid off. It's wonderful. I was so happy when I saw that starting the new job on Monday on Facebook. I said, wow, that was quick. And don't put down unemployment. I've made good money on unemployment through the years.
No, to each their own. I mean, it's a good program to have for those who need the money.
But he wanted to be doing something instead of wallowing or worrying, and you kind of liked it for a little bit. I mean, you still have the option to keep going if you want to.
Yeah, to earn some extra cash on the
weekends.
Side. Yeah. So that's just I just learned from the last time I was unemployed that I had to be dogged about it and just pursue it to no ends to make be on it like 24/7, and this time it literally paid off because the place I'm working now is just a nice place, and a lot of perks with it, and a lot of nice people that are willing to go out of their way to make sure that I'm comfortable, and if I have questions, I can go to anybody and ask a question.
Well, that's the important thing that I've learned through the years, and even a couple of times in my life I was in a position where I had to hire people, and I learned years ago that you apply for a job unless it's super specific or technical. When the people call you in for an interview, they pretty much assume that you can do the job. And when I used to have to counsel, I had a job years ago where I'd counsel ex-offenders, people getting out of prison or jail to try to get them back in the job market. And my job, I would approach companies and kind of soften the path for them. But I tell these ex-offenders, and I tell everybody, I tell teenagers when they'd ask me, I'd say, look, what do you think they're looking for when you go to that interview? You know, provided you're not lying and you do have the skills. And what it is they're looking for someone they can get along with, whether it's part of a team or you're going to be on your own, that when your boss or your coworkers have to interact with you, that you get along, that you're not too difficult, that you're not too funny, that you're not too, you know, it's a shame, but they're looking for someone they can get along depending on the culture of that organization or company.
But what frustrates me about the interview process is like the industry or whoever's doing the interview, they'll all collectively find these crazy questions to kind of like trip you up to see how you react. And then when we find out what's the best answer, and, you know, that goes on the internet, like interview, resume tips, and we find out what they're looking for, they go and change it. So we don't, I'm like, it's all a silly game, really.
Yeah, it's too rapid now, I guess, with electronic communication. It's rapid where it used to be in the old days. You went in, you got a phone call, can you come in on Tuesday? You went in, you put on a stupid tie if you needed it. You know, you behaved and you looked them in the eye and you answered questions. And the only trick question that was really a trick for most people was, oh, how much do you want to make? And you weren't supposed to necessarily ask too soon. And, you know, now it's all electronic. And,
well,
you know,
I don't know if it's because the market is flooded with candidates. There's more people looking for jobs than there are jobs, maybe here in Houston. I don't know. But it seems like they can have you jump through more hoops to even get to the face-to-face interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, now you've gone through round 2. Now, you know, complete these 5 tasks and bring me the golden key, and, you know.
Interesting
thing. Well,
thing.
they've always done that. They used to do that in person when I used to, you know, 30 years ago, be looking for work. You know, you'd go in, if you sounded good on the phone or if you looked good on a resume, they'd call you in, and then you'd get there, and sometimes they'd call you back a second time, you know. So nothing's really changed except they have more information on the internet. In other words, even before you come in, they can check your references, whereas in my day, you put it on a piece of paper, they had to get someone to call or write and actually talk to people. So I think the process is condensed more, but yes, you're right. If they have all these services now where if you're a candidate that seems to have equal skills to 5 other candidates, then they can play with you because they know they'll hire one of you probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, I work in higher ed, which is honestly nothing to do with reality.
No.
It's a different world. It's a different mindset. It's a different set of rules and policies that you probably wouldn't get away with in corporate, big business. And if you figure out how to navigate and live in it, you can make it work. But some people are just, like, they'll come from the real world of jobs and into higher ed, and they're like, I don't understand. This is baffling, you know, and it just makes me laugh.
No, it is. But, I mean, the bottom line is still, because I've worked in the education field and I've worked in the corporate, is how you're going to get along, how you fit in. Mm-hmm. And, yes, some things do not play in the corporate world that played in the academic world or nonprofit world or vice versa. But the bottom line is if the people you're working with feel comfortable with you, and if that worked, I've been on jobs where they liked you, and even if your skills weren't as strong, some companies, for example, would be willing to invest money in you to build your skills because they thought you were working out fine.
Boy, I could tell you a story, Dino, but not on the air.
Yeah. I could tell you plenty, too. And in the nonprofit world,
not happy endings.
Flying high and getting a job, you know, just like Spaceboy or anybody, because they thought I looked good on paper, and then you get there, and then you might be going great for 6 months or a year, and then something turns. The boss gets a different directive, or a new boss comes in, or they add someone to staff that parallels you. And then
someone's nephew needs a job, so.
Oh, well, but even if it's not a nephew, yeah, nepotism is a horrible thing, too. I've experienced that many times on many jobs. But it's just you get in there and things change, and that's why it's been hard for me, because I was an only child, to like, even though I'm a nice person, to really get along, because you realize it's a game, as you said, and you realize once you get in, sometimes you do have to do a little bit of kissing up, although I was someone who didn't really like that, because you realize that, that's your job. You're there, and if you're going to cause waves with everybody else, it may not be your job for long. Anyway, this is a depressing subject. I'm so glad I started getting Social Security this year. At least I have some kind of a hedge, but even the politicians now, some of them want to take that away. And boy, you want to talk about a revolution. There's a lot of things government does that pisses people off. You start taking away benefits for people that have worked for 40 years, you're going to have a real revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So at least keep getting your benefits. Don't spoil it. I went to full retirement age, and I was looking at some figures today. Well, if I waited one more year, I could get, 6% more money. And I thought, no, it was time. 40 years, and I can still go out and work once you get Social Security and you're full age. You can still go out and work. I could get another job now if I want. So that's comforting to know, but not for some of the more conservatives want to take that away from us. So beware.
Indeed.
Well, what else would you like to talk about, or someone else should call in, since we have everything working now properly?
Well, this would be a great opportunity to let somebody else to call in to
put up the phone number again on the speaker chat.
You got that, Surlana?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Write it down, because people can't hear. Half the people listening tonight are wasted on some kind of beverage or recreational drug. So
we shouldn't talk about Bev like that.
Hey.
Well, that's what Bob has passed out, I guess. But anyway, so I'll leave the drinking to somebody else, and I'm going to go cook and listen while I cook. Okay, good
cool.
night, all.
Good night, Dino.
Best wishes for everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye. Hey, at least something works now. Did you figure out whatever?
Yes. The return on your computer wasn't plugged into the mixer.
What happened?
The mixer got moved and it got unplugged.
Dun dun dun.
I need to get something that's can extend that, yeah.
Or maybe not.
Or not, probably.
There's no point in it, maybe. 713-701-5214 is our Skype number. Don't think you have to have Skype to call that in. You just call the phone if you want. But that's what we're hooked up to now.
In fact, while that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and take the break because I need something to drink.
Really?
And
you
yes,
can do that?
Yeah.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
I'm Solaris Blue Ribbon, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
We are back, Surlana.
Yeah. Still connected on Skype, 713-701-5214. If you had called previously and we heard you, but you didn't hear us, and you want to, actually have an interaction, we found out what was wrong. Something was disconnected from the mixer board, meaning this computer I'm on, because it actually broadcasts the calls. His does the show, mine does the calls. Yeah, so leave that. Turns out, the whole time we've been in here and been on the show tonight, our cat has been in the room with us on another task chair, which I didn't know. So she's actually loving this heat. She gets more... I noticed the warmer it is in the house, the floppier she gets, and she just seems to luxuriate in it because she's
like
a cat.
An old Southern belle.
Yeah, she's over there all stretched out. She looks really happy. She's an old lady. Went and picked her up some special food from the store to promote urinary tract health for her. So hopefully that will help her out in the long run. But she's just been dead quiet. She hasn't said a word until you pass by her and she says something.
She's just now leaving.
Oh, she's leaving. Oh, well. That's more bad karma on us.
She knew that you were talking about her.
Yes, more. Well, I said the word muffin, and she probably went, oh, no, they're talking about me. I better leave. She might be going to get a drink because she's dying from the dehydration. I know we keep harping on about the heat, but it is 100% humidity. It's like, feels like temperature is 81. It is 11:18 p.m. It's nearing midnight, and we can't catch a break. But this is, you're like, well, why do you live in Houston? I know.
She tried to call, but the Skype says it's unavailable.
Let me see. We're connected. No, you've got money.
How about, why don't we just reconnect the call in studio?
Okay.
I know it's a pain.
All right. Don't call the Skype.
Remember, Skype has to be forwarded.
Oh, I don't know how to get that back, dude. Okay, we're still connected. Skype phone, Skype features. You could talk,
Oh, I could?
Are you eating when you should be broadcasting?
I didn't realize I was going to be, usually for the most part our broadcast consists of you going down a list, and if I interject...
Well, I don't have a show topic. I don't have anything prepped.
Hey, chill, killer.
Call forwarding voicemail.
So like I said to the audience, tomorrow we're going to go see Captain Marvel, just to kind of review it, and then I'm going to post a video in the space vlog on YouTube. Sorry, I was munching down on some Swiss cheese. It was quite delicious. What?
You and your cheese.
Well, I love cheese. When I was a kid, and I say kid, I was about 5 years old, I ran away with a block of cheese.
I love that story.
And they caught me, like, just down the road.
They caught you. They caught you like a criminal.
Yes, 5 years old.
Did they take the cheese away from you, or did you finish the cheese?
I don't know. I have no recollection of the cheese, but I don't doubt my mom when she says the story about how somebody brought me back. That's the part you
don't remember who was the random person that caught you and brought you?
Well, I mean, here you have a child by a freeway with a block of cheese. You don't see that every day.
That's true. I apologize for this, people.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
Oh, it's on the wall.
So when you break into the house, make sure to look on the wall for our code.
You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
All right, callers. Our main
833-202-7286. It should be burned into your brain, and then... Oh, boy, she just hair trigger.
Who?
Let's see. Are you there?
Yes.
It's our marriage counselor.
Yes.
Long time no hear. Although we chat with you, but we hadn't heard from you.
You know, she's making me hungry with all these hot dogs she's posting in.
Where is she posting hot dogs?
In the chat room.
Oh, those are dog dogs. Those aren't hot dogs.
I thought maybe that it was between that and she was celebrating Dino being able to talk on the phone.
Oh.
So.
No, no, I just like my Dachshunds.
So, Bev, how cold is it there in wonderful Ohio?
Oh, what's the temp here, honey?
It's what? Oh.
She's checking with the...
It's about, 30, 35, something like that.
Man, that sounds wonderful.
Rained.
She had to check with the commander.
It's rained all day, and it's still raining.
It started to sprinkle on us a little bit, but it's just like, oh, we're dying down here.
But it's nowhere in the 30s.
No.
It might be about 40.
Miss Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.
For the audience out there that's listening to this on replay,
Sam Hill.
Miss Michelle just posted in our chat room some girl getting wieners thrown at her, but you know,
actual hot dog wieners.
Yes,
it's a GIF. Oh Lord, that was not expected at all.
It's funny where these TikTok videos are going these days.
I don't think it's a TikTok video.
More like a Tic Tac.
Goddess Michelle says it's 17 here. Is that Fahrenheit? Yeah. 17 degrees Fahrenheit? Wow. Or she's in, what, Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, she lives up there in Canada. So it's a little bit colder up there in Canada.
I have a app on my phone. It's called WTF Forecast, and it gives you the weather forecast for your area, but it swears at you. And it gives you sarcastic, and so I just pulled it up and says, this fog is like the annoying person that sits next to you at work. It's annoying. That's what the weather forecast says. Cloudy with mist and fog, 70 degrees, but feels like 70. Okay.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
The high is going to be was 80. It says it's going to get down to 64, but it's almost midnight and it ain't happening yet.
Wow.
Well, of course.
He said it was, still 81?
Well, the high was 81 today.
I'm sure that if we opened the front door,
Shut the front door.
All the hot air would just kind of ooze out like a fart box, you know.
And then so would our cat, probably. I'm going to keep the cat in here.
I don't think she'd get out there.
She's pretty good. She'll take tentative steps up there, and I'll go, Muffin, and she'll run back in the house. I don't even have to discipline her, you know.
Oh, Elliot, when he gets out, he'll hide in the bushes alongside of the house. Okay. But he very rarely gets out. Well, he learned how to open up the kitchen door to the utility room. Our kitchen, it has I call it a kitchen door. You open it up, goes into the utility room, and that's where our back door's at. And he'll go out there and hide under Bob's workbench or over beside the furnace. And I don't know what he's got about the utility room.
Maybe it's warm?
No, not really. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
He's building...
Well, I think he goes out there, too, to get away from Dino, because Dino's always pestering the poor boy.
I was going to say, maybe he's building an underground tunnel to tunnel out of there, or...
He just... he knows that Dino won't go out there unless he has to go out. That's the only time he goes out in the utility room. Or unless we're out there.
Mm-hmm. Has Bob been up to some new projects lately?
No, he hasn't been feeling too good lately.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's been really tired.
I'm sorry.
So... But I'm going to miss you guys.
Well, it's not set in stone, but we do wanted to prepare people.
We're thinking about it, so if we ever do make that announcement and it's anytime soon, you won't be like in shock.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. You know, we've always tried to be upfront and honest with everybody, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's the only time I'm ever upfront and honest is when we do the show. Everything else is, questionable.
Yeah, she lies to me all the time.
Yeah. That's when you're happiest, though.
What?
Now they're posting meatball pictures. It's not fair. Oh, dang, that looks good.
I know, don't it? Oh gosh. I'm sitting here getting hungry. Yeah, I go to my kidney doctor the 1st of April.
Oh.
Or no, the 8th of April.
You hoping that's going to be positive, or?
Well, we're just going to find out how they're doing.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Last year when I thought you all knew about this. Last year,
mm-hmm.
when I was in the hospital with double pneumonia, my kidneys were only at 26%.
Oh, yeah.
I recall you talking about that.
Yeah. So, I've been going every 6 months. Oh, God, I got 3 doctors. Too many. But I'm going to talk to him about the lap band surgery. See if I get this weight off of me.
Well, it definitely helps if you can.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of a lot of successful cases that have done that lap band, and it's worked out tremendously for them.
Our family doctor said, it would do me a lot of good, but he can't say yes because of my kidneys.
Right.
Right. They got to function first.
So, yeah. So, I mean, they're on the rise, so hopefully they're good enough to where I could go through that surgery, and then I'd have to buy a whole new wardrobe.
Oh, well,
and
that's
Bob
just terrible.
Needs to buy you a whole new wardrobe. Because if you do it yourself, then he's going to worry like you're going to leave him.
Oh, oh, Spaceboy, you are just too funny. He'd probably say, "Go ahead, take her, she's yours."
On the funny part, I don't think Surlana agrees with you, though.
What?
No. She's always saying if you say something funny, I'll laugh when I think it's funny.
Well, I'm still waiting.
Just like when I post that one picture on Facebook with the bowling pin.
You made me laugh like 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, because
it was off air.
Because I recently got my haircut. I didn't know if you saw my
hipster haircut,
my good-looking haircut, Bev, on Facebook, but.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's real short on the sides, and it's kind of like I look like the Nutty Professor. With the chili, it's not necessarily a chili bowl cut, but on the top, but the way it lays down, I might as well be Ernie from Bert and Ernie and Sesame Street.
Well, you're supposed to keep it kind of slicked back and together. Well, you've laid down since then, and now you do look like the Nutty Professor.
Or Ernie. Rubber Ducky.
Ernie.
Ducky, you're the one.
Was it Simple Rick or Doofus Rick from Rick and Morty?
Yeah, Doofus Rick.
Let me see if they got that in other chat.
But I went for a hipster haircut, and because I'm rocking the beard.
Doofus Rick is in the gift thing. There it is.
There it is. So there you go. That's how my hair looks right now. It's not slicked back and.
Oh gosh. So it's pretty hot there, huh? It's
hot and humid.
The way it has been.
Well, I got my hair cut, Bev, and it is pretty hot here now, and I'm just extruding hotness.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
sure.
I just got that.
Yeah, it's not worth getting. Don't worry about it, Bev.
I know. Him and Bob would get along great because he tells me the same thing. Oh, I'm just like in the summer when I'm saying, "God, it's hot." He goes, "Oh, I know, I'm so hot." I'm like, after 33 years of marriage, almost, it's like looking at the same thing every day. How long you all been married now?
12 years. So
14?
Wow.
Together 14, married 12?
something like that. A Bob joke would be too long.
Yeah, it would be. But like he says, it's cheaper to stay married.
I give Surlana street cred.
I always tell him, I say, you gotta love me. He goes, no, I don't. I go, yes, I do. I have a paper to say so.
It's a
He
contract.
Goes, all that paper means is
It's a contract,
says,
and if he stops loving you, he's breached the contract, and you can sue him.
Yeah.
Surlana's not a suing person.
But I
She's
couldn't
a
get anything because he doesn't have anything.
He doesn't have everything you want, you know?
Surlana studied at the Nancy Kerrigan School of Knee Surgery.
Haha. The 90s called, they want the joke back.
Well, like he says, all that paper means is he has to legally tolerate my. I said, well, I must be doing something right because you've been legally tolerating me now for 32 years. So.
I'm like, well, there's the door. I'll require to leave. You will be required to leave some body parts behind, but you're still free to go. You won't be attacked.
We have rained on each other since we've been married. That's what makes it interesting.
What?
You what?
Sorry, he's doing things. Sorry, he's doing things.
I'm not doing anything naughty.
Well, you're the one that's pantless.
Well, it's hot in here.
What are we doing?
It's not like I'm sitting in here with a big thing of Jello and pantsless and trying to stay cool.
Why did your brain go to Jello?
Because Jello is delicious when you're frickin' hot.
Okay.
TMI.
Yeah. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, sitting on the couch eating Jello and have a fan blowing at me.
That sounds like the most depressing evening ever.
I don't know. It's Jello.
Did y'all have AC?
No, we don't. It's broken.
Oh.
And I was going to say Bill Cosby might enjoy that night.
I'm going to swiftly move away from this part of the conversation. There is a guy coming Monday to look at the AC.
And fix it.
Oh, good.
Means
good.
I got to stay home.
Oh, well, that breaks your heart, don't it?
Well, stay home in a hot house when I go to work. I have the opposite thing when I go to work. It is freezing cold in my office, 365.
And the reality is, once the AC is fixed, you'll probably go to Cane's and get you a nice little chicken dinner that you
I haven't been there in a while.
Feel like you neglected, and get you some crunchy fries or crinkle fries.
KFC, because I haven't gone there in a while.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Mm-hmm. See, don't listen to her. She's playing the victim. And
you may come visit you at your fancy new job? No, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to jeopardize your position.
So how do you like your new job, Spaceboy?
He's giving me the death stare.
It's good. I just started. I've been doing a lot of training, and almost to the point where they're going to release the hounds, and it'll be interesting to see how I hold my own.
What do you do?
I'm an IT guy still, kind of like a help desk, but they call it a live desk because you're getting a live person.
If it's not live, is it like you're helping zombies?
When you're funny, I'll roll my eyes.
You're the one who's got the dead eyes over there.
They're glazed over.
I know, I just couldn't believe it when you said that, you'd had a job, and I'm like, man, he hasn't even been out of work not quite 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. I hear that.
The nice thing is that the job paid me for the rest of the month, and I had PTO time coming to me, so...
Which had what?
PTO, personal time off. I had accrued, thank you.
So they owe you that because you didn't take it, so it's like that's converts to money.
Yeah, so
Oh, cool.
it was nice because I paid all my I haven't paid them all yet, but I've got the money to pay all the bills practically until the end of this month, and then at some point get my check from this new job and not miss a beat.
I feel bad that in the middle of all this, I needed brake work on my vehicle, and it was getting like scary. The noises it was making.
That was $300.
That was painful.
Oh yeah, that's not cheap.
No, that was just half of it.
Yeah.
That was just half of it.
The half that didn't
You
show.
paid for it.
Did you fix it, Space Boy?
No.
I fixed it by making sure that the car got to Firestone, and they fixed it.
Bob and his brothers always fix their own vehicles.
I haven't changed brakes since I was like 18 years old on a car.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, back then...
Wow.
See, my dad used to work on our own cars. He used to know how to do that.
Well, see, his older brother, Bob's older brother, owns a auto shop. It's TJ Auto, so... And they've always helped him there. So they're pretty mechanically inclined. And the only thing that they don't really mess with is the computer part of the car.
Donna mentioned that it would have been more expensive if you didn't fix the brakes. Yes, you're absolutely right.
don't really understand the mechanics of what happens, but some of you out there, something about one of the rear calipers locked up and then eroded, whatever, and it was making this terrible screeching, scraping noise. So I do feel a little bit more confident about driving it now. So
thankfully, she has a wise husband that convinced her to call Firestone and make this happen. Because I didn't want her to be in a situation where that car breaks down. I mean, we're so dependent on two cars.
No.
Well, that car is 14 years old. I've had that car for almost as long as I've known Spaceboy.
Well, you have. As long
1 year less than I've known you.
And the car you had before, you had a Honda Civic. That was about to go through some repairs, and I convinced you to just break down.
I've only ever had Hondas.
I convinced her to go ahead and let's get a new car.
The new Honda Civics are sexy.
I got a 91 Honda Civic.
Mine was a 98 Honda Civic.
But we ended up getting a Honda Element.
Still have it.
Yeah, I haven't drove it for quite a while. Well, we got to get licensed for it, but it's so... By the time we get, all of our bills paid now, we never have enough money.
Oh, Lordy, do we understand that.
I like to keep Bob's truck running because it's in better shape than my car.
Right.
Plus, he can drive you everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, we got to be a two-income.
It's so cute watching me get up in his truck because he has a little step stool, and then he gets behind me, and I grab a hold of the I guess there's a hand grabber on the truck inside. Well, I grab a hold of that, and then he lifts me up as I'm pulling myself up.
I was getting worried
and then I get into the truck.
I was getting worried that this was going to be a non-safe for Spaceboy Universe talk.
Oh, no.
Technically, we could carpool because you're working the same hours. I could drop you off and pick you up, but I just feel like that would frustrate you. You'd be trapped there. You wouldn't be able to go get lunch.
Trapped? Yeah, well, that's true. Although they, get a load of this. They offer snacks, and they have a refrigerator that has soda. They even have a beer refrigerator for like after-hour events. There's beer for the employees.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, right? They got a video game arcade in the break room.
Dang.
It's a pretty sweet.
They have daycare?
Well, no.
See, they got everything else.
But they got a second.
Now, there are some companies. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they have a second floor that practically kills me each time I have to go up the stairs.
Oh. No, I can't do stairs anymore. That's why we moved into his grandma's house, because it's one floor plan. No more walking up and down walking up and down the steps to the basement to do laundry and.
Yeah, I'd need one of those chair lift things if we had stairs or an elevator in the house.
You still want one?
Yeah, I still want one.
Oh, robot legs.
I'm not as spry as I used to be.
Oh, hey. I'm quite a bit older than you are, so... Well, how old are you?
I turned 50 this year.
50?
50.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be 12 years older than you.
See,
so.
that's not much older than I am.
Yeah.
But,
and how old are you, Surlana?
I will be getting 1 year older next month.
What, you're 47?
Oh, I'll be 62 this year.
Oh, she just gave me the dirty look.
61 this year. Yeah, I was born in 58.
Well, the bottom line is I'm not dead yet.
I'll be 61 this year. God, I can't even keep track of mine.
I used to think my parents were lying about their age and their birth date because I thought they always told us that they were born the same year, same date, and their same age because it was convenient to remember it like that. Like, oh, well, Mom was probably born on a different day, but this is just easier for Dad to remember. Turns out they were actually born same year, same day. Exactly. She was born in Louisiana, and he was born in Mississippi, so that they're like next, door to each other. So.
Yeah.
And I was like, that did not sink in for years. I didn't understand that. And then Spaceboy's birthday is on the 18th of a month, and my birthday's on the 18th of a month. It's very freaky.
Well, see, my birthday is June 12th, 1958. Bob's birthday is June 21st, 1960.
My brother was born in 58.
Older than Bob. So he calls me his old woman. He says, honey, technically I can call you that because you are older than me.
Oh, yeah. My friend Leanne is older than her husband, and he's only 2 or 3 years older than me.
He's, 20 years younger than her?
No. Not that much.
His brother's wife is, I think, 5 years older than his brother, his younger brother. They're only a year apart, him and his brother.
It's a freaky thing with the numbers in my family and relationships. I never really thought about it. I'm sure that it probably has some kind of meaning, but I don't know what it would be, and I probably won't believe it anyway. Ooh, Donna Colvin. And does Bob have fewer teeth now, lol, she says. In Spreaker Chat.
No, he actually has more teeth than I do. Seriously.
Nice burn, Donna. Twitter would take you down if they could.
Oh, God. I would step on his toes and no one would listen. Michelle. It's like I said, I come back with some good ones on him and I actually can leave him speechless at times.
That's the great thing. My go-to one is like the drop the mic. Well, maybe your next wife will do that. Leave the room.
Like that gets me. I just say, well, maybe she will.
Well, Bob's always telling me, boy, simple things amaze you, don't they? I said, yeah, I married you, remember?
Burn.
Massive burn. Yeah, we should do a show like, call in, what's your favorite relationship burn? It's a phrase.
Oh. Well, like I said, that's what makes our marriage work. We always picking on each other. And
I figures ours is apathy.
apathy with
that. I just can't be bothered to do anything about it, so just stay together. Not motivated.
Well, heck, it could cost just as much to get a divorce as it is to get married.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's crazy. Oh, that's like, I even hate going to the store.
That's why we do curbside pickup when we go to do groceries.
I hate deciding on what we're going to eat.
I hate it.
But yet I do.
Yeah.
And then I just don't cook it.
Like spaghetti. I've been wanting spaghetti, and
I just can't
she won't cook it. That's why I had lo mein the other day.
Well, it's... In order to do that, I have to do this other thing, and I've been avoiding the other thing, and I need to do the other thing first, so... It's got to happen tomorrow. It's got to happen.
Well, Bev, I see our clock is winding down, so...
Okay.
We appreciate you calling, and don't worry too much about what we've talked about earlier tonight. We haven't made a hard decision yet on what the future is, but, there's always YouTube. You'll be able to check us out, practically all our shows are up there on YouTube, and there's some other things that are up there. Like I said at the beginning, there's Spaceboy music, there's video interviews that we've done at the Comic Palooza and things like that, and just other things. And so you should check it out. And if we click the light out here, at least you know where to find us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't kill us.
Oh, I was going to tell you, I heard your new song, too.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I think I saw you liked it. I appreciate that. That's actually...
That is...
The updated, the high energy one with the drums and guitars, that's the first version of that song. There's another version that's up there on the cadet wall. That's actually for Dave in Beyond the Strange. He's changing his theme music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting here bebopping in my chair to it.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Hopefully I'll be able to complete that album soon and complete my anthology.
Yeah, that would be great. So, well, I want to wish you all the best on that album, bud.
Thank you, Bev. I appreciate it.
So, and I will say goodbye.
Okay, I'm glad we finally got to chat with you.
Yes, I've been missing chatting with you. And I want to say I love you and love everybody, love all the space cadets.
Well, we love you back, Bev.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Bev.
That's awesome. Do I have time for something?
What do you have time?
Gene wrote us a poem about the show.
Sure.
Do you mind if I read it real quick?
Go ahead.
Amendments falling in the wind of a narrative washed with gold. Every heart must yield its truth and buy what it's being sold. Take your due if you can while stories are still told.
Always poetic.
Gene Bateau.
He is a laureate like no other one that I know.
Yes, he's our official poet laureate of Spaceboy Universe.
He's the man with the golden voice, too.
Yes. It's been a while since I heard him talk, but I remember what it was like. What? These gifts are crazy. Where do they? How do they know to look for these things to search for them? I
guess that's P. Diddy trying to call into the show, but
with a shoe.
I guess
a giant shoe. Oh my gosh! Where do they even find these things? Anyway, so yeah, of course that was good to read that. I had more things up, but because I had to reboot, I lost all the tabs that I had open, what things we're going to talk about. So, like I said, the big thing is we're going to go see Captain Marvel tomorrow. There's some other things we might talk about. We'll save them for some other broadcasts or some little short broadcasts. Oh, yeah, Hellboy next month. The rebooted Hellboy. I think we'd probably go see that.
Yeah, probably.
Or would we wait?
No, we'll go see it.
And it's got Hellboy's being played by David Harbour, who was on Stranger Things.
Yes.
Who might still be in Stranger Things, I don't know.
Yeah, new season coming out soon.
I'm interested to find out what's the deal with the cat in Captain Marvel. I know it's an alien, but that's all I know.
I don't know why they changed it from Chewie to Goose. I mean, unless they're trying to do the Top Gun reference.
I was just to say, is it a Top Gun thing? Now, what absolutely interested me was, because it's mostly set in the 90s when she was, doing her pilot thing, the Captain Marvel, they actually filmed some scenes at the last known blockbuster video on the face of the earth. Yes, there is one left. It's one left, and it's what, in Oregon? Is it?
I watched some video about that particular blockbuster. Apparently,
if it's the same one.
When they were closing out the blockbusters, they didn't want to sell off. So they decided to keep their blockbuster.
I guess as a locally owned franchise or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can buy your own Burger King and then it be part of the franchise, but you can own that location. I don't know if that's how it works. I was trying to find that particular article.
An interesting one movie I got to see was with Michael Keaton, where he plays the gentleman by the name of Ray Kroc, who basically made McDonald's into what McDonald's is today.
Yeah.
It was a very fascinating movie. If our audience should check it out, I highly recommend it.
Let's see. I was trying to find that article that talks about it being the last blockbuster, but I don't think I'm able to get it quickly. I'm looking at ScreenRant.com, where everything is. Everything's on there. Let's see if there's TV news. Well, let's see. Some people passed away. We lost Jan Michael Vincent, Luke Perry, a wrestler. I can't think of his name. I just saw it briefly, but...
Or maybe you were distracted by Miss Michelle in the chat room.
Could be. What in the... Why did I have to go look? Why did I have to go look? That'll teach me.
Things you can't unsee.
Why does it keep doing this?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you got an idea for a show next week?
Yes, but I want to do it in a way that's interesting and fresh, so it's not just me sitting here reading boring facts to you.
Can you give our audience any idea?
Well, this is March. It's Women's History Month, and we've done 2 shows previously in women's history, but I want to find something new and different that you don't already know, like... Who doesn't already know about Susan B. Anthony and all these other things? So I want to try to find something that's more recent, more timely. How can I tie it into current events and make it relevant, and have it be something positive? So, that kind of thing. Did you know they're trying to make an animated TV show based on Gremlins?
No, I did not know.
And then you told me about this series that's coming out at the end of May, Good Omen, which I watched the trailer of that. It
looks good.
It looks interesting. It's an angel. It's 2 angels. One of them's a fallen angel. One's a real angel. It's played by Michael Sheen's the good angel, and the bad angel is David Tennant, one of the former Doctor Who's. So I watched the trailer of that, and it looks like it's got John Hamm from Mad Men. Some other people I recognize, and they're supposed to keep watch over the Antichrist, which is a boy in England. And I don't know if they're trying to stop the apocalypse or just make sure everything's going as according to plan. But of
course, it doesn't go.
They show heaven and hell and the devil, and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are actually motorcycle riders, and it's kind of interesting. So,
Surlana, there's the music.
Oh, really? Sorry, I didn't know we were ending. Bye.
That's fine. Join us next week. We promise, our friends. And we'll be back. Spaceboy and Surlana will be exploring the universe for you.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.
Hi, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.